Today I've got a Nintendo Switch with no power. Doesn't want to charge, yet the charge port looks pretty healthy. So interesting thing here, if we plug this up to the USB-C meter and connect the power, Alright, I don't see anything just yet, but let's see if we're getting any power here. Let's back this back up. Okay, so we'll plug this back into the charger and see if we're getting anything at the battery terminal. Now we got 3.6. That's interesting. So I'm going to take a look at the charging IC, which is next to the battery. Let's see, if you look at the charge port, it's down here. Just go straight up here, and this is the usual suspect when we have charging issues and there's no damage to the port. So I'm going to put my multimeter is actually already in diode mode. Put the red probe over here on ground, and we'll start checking. And this side here we're going to have, what do we have? Jumping around a little bit. Okay, we got ground, and we got ground. First one. That's funny, because I always go clockwise on these. And the first one I grab is going to show us a short. Over here we've got 450, 342, 497, 343, 520, 472, 603, and this one right here, very important. You do not want this to be shorted. I'm going to check the other side of the board, because sometimes when the USB video IC or a P13 USB goes out, it will short one of these, but I think it's usually this one. Anyways, let me pull the board and we'll take a look at the other side. So looking at the back side of the board, see the charge port down here at the bottom. Right next to it we have this, and often when you have a short close to the charging IC, it will also show up right here. So if we test this cap, we've got ground here and ground here. However, usually when these things fail, you can see, and it'll take out this filter, or you'll actually see a hole burned inside of this thing. What's interesting though is that this actually goes to ground as well. So I'm wondering if our problem might be this. Alright, so that was our dude, and we're going to clean this off because this is easier to work with some leaded solder. All right, let's just go ahead and test this real quick. All right, so I've just got the battery connected. That's all I'm really concerned about at the moment. Let's see if this thing is going to take a charge now. Oh, that's just strange. Getting 2 point. It's actually going up. This battery just might be too low to charge right now, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this connected because it is going up, as you can see, very slowly in voltage. So I'm going to disconnect this. It's not recommended that you use these for regular charging. And we'll plug this in, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, we're at 3.5 volts on the battery, so let's see if we're looking more like a normal charge at this point. All right, so now we're getting 0.47, and that will typically stay at that rate up until it gets closer to 4. So again, I'll step away just for a few minutes and come back, check on it. All right, let's take a look again. And we're at 3.9, so that should be sufficient for this thing to charge at the correct rate. Once it gets to 3.7, I would say at the latest, we should be pulling 0.47 again. Oh, there we go. 0.8, 0.7. Yeah, so usually this will jump up to an amp, but I gotta tell you, these little meters I've been getting mixed results with. So I don't think 0.8 is bad, but just out of curiosity, I'm gonna try this other type here. Let's see if we get a consistent result. And they do take a second once you plug them in, so you're getting 0.7 again. I'll show you something interesting. I've got another one of these that probably has, I don't know, maybe a couple hours worth of use on it. And when we plug this one in, it says we're pulling 2 amps. So I don't know what that means, except that these don't last very long in my experience. 1.5, go back to this one. I have to assume the other meter is just shorted internally. Okay, so we're getting 0.8. I'm going to go ahead and plug the display in and make sure that we are getting... that's interesting. 2 different versions. This is the 1902 and this is an 1802. So for some reason, my 1802 version is no longer working properly as far as I can tell. Well, what do you know? It's past the 1-year warranty. All right, so we've got it all back together. I'll plug it in with the OEM charger. And you can see the battery up just for a second. Booting up and charging.